Elite Assembly. Step off the sea. Flash is the ToyLeet crew. We're the kings of the game, yeah, the chosen few. From the shadows we rise with the rarest finds. Collect them, respect them, we're one of a kind. ToyLeet, ready in the streets. Elite with the feats in this collectible feast. ToyLeet, never in the streets. We're the heart of the beat, where all playmates meet. Check our stacks, our collection supreme. Limited editions, every collector's dream. We're the myths, we're the legends, with every drop. Taking over the block, we never stop. In the alleys where the echoes play. ToyLeet's the name, hear what we say. Rising, thriving, always vibing. In our realm we're always diving. ToyLeet, reign in the street, the live ToyLeet. Set in the pace. With a snap of the case and a click of the lock. ToyLeet's on top and we're ready to rock. Collecting more than just toys. We're up. We're up. We're up. ToyLeet, now in the street, we're the heart of the beat, where all playmates meet. We're the dream, we're the ToyLeet. Watch the flow, cause in this zone, we never admit defeat. Come for the thrill, stay for the chase. ToyLeet's in the place that...
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Hello, everybody.
Ed, you look totally different.
Oh man, it's this West Coast. I took a trip to the West Coast, and we're always hearing from Brick. He's always so chill, and I feel like I just took on his whole vibe. So yeah,
Awesome, good deal, man. Hey, thanks for coming in this week for me. Obviously Ed's doing a little cross country travel to support his family, and then a great situation with his daughter volunteering and to serve in the United States military. So he's out there for that this week. Ed, if you're catching this later or now, thank you for what you do and, what your daughter's doing, and good luck. And thank you so much for what she's sacrificing. Brick, thank you for jumping in with us this week. I got a whole bunch of stuff to chat about. We got some news. I think you might tease us with a little preview for the AWalk news next week. We'll get there shortly. We're going to talk a little bit this week about ToyVember, right? So you're here to help me kind of champion that. You've been a huge supporter of that from the get-go, so I really appreciate that. So it seemed fitting to have you come in this week when I needed a little bit of coverage just before we close up October and go for the November, or as I like to refer to it, ToyVember.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to sub anytime. I love what you guys do. I love that. I love that you've got good taste in toys. The whole indie thing, man. I was like, I'm in the chat usually like, yeah, dude, let's talk Savage Crucible. Let's talk this. So no, yep. I'm happy to be here. So, Ed ever needs a break, you ever need a break, or you just need a third, just let me know, man. I'm here.
Awesome, dude. Always good to have you around. Yeah, man. So for those that aren't familiar with the show, if you're just tuning in, this is ToyLeet Takeover. This week I've got a special guest, Brick Something, from over at the Brick Something channel over on YouTube. Is in Instagram. Supporter of indie toys, partner of different toy lines that are in the independents, in the voice of the voiceless. All of us out there from the West Coast. Brick, I've been on your show. You've been on, you're now on ours. We've been on a bunch of the Oz, Clubhouse channels together. Normally, when it's me and Ed here, we do that little, this is, I'm Mr. Wonderful, aka Plastic Daddy, Travis. We have Ed Axion Figs, who's absent, but this week we got Brick Something, and I guess this is your introduction to being part of the ToyLeet, brother.
No, I told you, man, I'm not a ToyLeetist. I'm a toymunist. So, but sure, down with the system, down with the elites. But I'll be here to be the contrarian. Sure.
Oh, we're gonna get you a T-shirt. You're either with us or against us, brother. No. But yeah, we appreciate you coming on ToyLeet Show,
Yeah.
right? We're just about talking independent toys, or as I like to refer to it, plastic passion, right? We all enjoy, grabbing a hold of some toys and living living a little bit of our childhood, or I guess in my case, more my adulthood, since when I was a kid, I didn't have the disposable income to get as many pieces of
I
plastic
was
as
gonna say,
I
is that
get
your
today.
subtle way of saying, yeah, me and this old guy usually on this show. So instead of Ed, it's this other old guy. Was that what it
Hey
was?
man, I'm now officially part of the protected class here in the United States, as I've hit 40. So
Oh,
I'm right there, man. I'm over the hill at this point, I guess is what they say, right? No,
okay, cool.
yeah, we like to talk toys, right? And there's a lot of shows out there. We'll talk about other ones later, but every week, folks, you give news every week on Sunday. You definitely focus on the independent toy lines too, but you also cover a wide variety of things. Even from like your trips all overseas to showing some of the things that are out in Japan.
Yeah,
But we
I
focus on
cover
the
what I
independent
like.
ones. What's
Yeah,
that?
bottom line is I cover what I like and what I think, I want to talk about fun stuff that I enjoy. I'd much rather talk toys that I love rather than, just like this toy sucks and that's not my thing.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
it's not always just indie toys, but it's anything that catches my eye, including,
Yeah.
some more big corporate stuff at retail.
Yeah.
So
I see some stuff behind you.
Yeah,
We,
tons of that stuff, man. I have so many
exactly.
little plastic bricks,
I
hence the
mean,
name.
above my shoulder over here,
Mhm.
that's all Mattel stuff up there from the WWE
Yep.
line. So
Yeah,
I,
no,
I
man.
collect that too, but we focus on the independent toys here, because there's a
Yeah.
ton of guys like yourself, a Punk with Toys, Unboxing Art. There's a ton of shows you can go check out throughout the week that talk about your Super Sevens, your McFarlanes, and Hasbro, Mattel. So we leave it to the professionals to do that. Ed and I, we're indie guys, so we roll with the independent toy lines, and that's where we focus our attention. We go through the weekly news. We also, throw a little callback to the way this show started with Ed and his son. We do
That's right.
from the crick, something we carried over from his original show in the original format. We like to champion someone who's doing something or done something cool, innovative, and creative within the community or brotherhood, depending on which word you prefer to use. We look at it like being part of the ToyLeet. So we like to champion those folks out there that do that. And then we have a weekly topic. This week's topic, ToyVember. But yeah. Oh, and we also have the ToyLeet or toilet, which is it a sink or swim, right? Does it flush and clog the toilet, or does it stand the test of time and go up on the upper shelf? And I like to put my stuff on the shelf, but sometimes they get flushed, and that's just how it works. So,
Fair
Brick,
enough.
before I go into how you've been and stuff, it looks like the chat's going exactly. Ed normally handles this for me, so I'm just going to go through here. We've got, let me see if I know how to do this. We've got Roll Keeper, first in, last out, maybe, I guess. Always here. Thank you, Roll Keeper. Appreciate you, brother.
Go, let's
we've
go.
got Nolan in here. It's a real toy tube stream here. We got Eman on. I'm not good at pronouncing things. Emanon, thank you.
If you're stuck, just pause. I'll fill it in.
Awesome. We got Nolan again saying hi to Fatred. We got Fatred right here jumping in. Thank you. Oh, he's here for Brick something for sure.
Yeah.
Because this one right here, I saw it.
Hey.
We've also got My Buddy's Custom. We've got, what did I mess up? Damn, man, looking good. Oh, I clicked that one. I didn't even read it.
He almost made me
I'm going to leave that one up there for a while, because normally I'm stuck here with Ed. So that's a good thing.
It's that cold snow in New York City, man.
He's kicked me out of a bunch of streams the last few weeks. So he's come in, because I called him Janetti at one point. He's kind of been kicking me out. And for those that aren't familiar, it's a wrestling reference. But we've got Cobweb Collector in the chat. We got 3-star Drawl in here. What's up, fellas? Stopping by for a few and hitting that like button. Appreciate it, brother. Check that replay out. Really appreciate that also. We've got one of our buddies over there from the Hella Dope crew. We've got Black Knight. We've got Clint Georgeson here. He says, yes, Brick is here. We will get tons of sports and wrestling talk.
Yes.
There might be a rustling talk here or there. We had a bunch of that in the middle of the night the other night on Punk's stream for a couple hours, almost a few hours at that point. I think that might be it. If I missed someone, I'm working on it. I think that's everybody. Yeah, awesome. Let me see if I can figure out how to hide that. There we go. Cool. So Brick, like to check in. How's the week going? I know you were just on the other day on Sunday, so folks probably, heard from you. And I think you appeared on Punk's 36-hour stream at some point. I think I jumped in and saw you in the chat once or twice. Yeah, that's
early in in the chat for sure, but early in the morning on Saturday with Ed and Aaron and Oz, we did the cafe early session. A bunch of other folks jumped on.
Saturday morning cartoons, right?
Yeah, Saturday morning cafe, Clubhouse Cafe. We had Krusty Old Crow was on. A bunch of folks stopped in, so it was really cool. And then Punk eventually joined us once he was sort of awake from his mimes, his nappy times. So it was good. Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. Did you get any pickups you want to talk about? We like to check in. That's one of the things Ed and I always do.
What we got. Yeah, so I finally got my Ramen Toys. No, I was gonna say Brave. I should say the Marshall. Sorry, I was put them together. So this is the Marshall. My finger strategically placed, but this thing is awesome. I love this. Come on, man, focus. I love the head sculpt on this.
That came out
so
good.
Much,
and that's from
really
Ramen,
good.
Right?
Moves super well. Really happy with everything. I do have a little bit of a QC issue with this leg, and so it'll go in, but it doesn't sit as flush and tight as I'd like it to be, and kind of comes out a little bit. So I've contacted them, and I actually haven't checked to see if they've responded because I'm the worst with email. But that said, I really love what they're doing with this. We're always talking about indie toy lines and sort of like how people are innovating. I love the use of overlays. It's very similar to Punk was saying the other day that it's very similar to his Aces of Aviation. Like I was breaking it down with him, explaining to him, but I was mistaken. I didn't take it apart enough to realize that like this is actually an overlay.
And when an overlay, it's molded on, right?
No, like literally an overlay. Here, check it out. So
it literally comes off.
I love that they're doing the poppable, swappable stuff because you know how I feel about that, like with Legions and stuff. But they're really well done. So these are softer, durometer plastics that like you can take off. Not unlike the AWOC stuff, but see, check this out. It looks like it's part of the leg, but it's an overlay. It's another softer plastic thing to create more detail. And then there's like fabric underneath. Sorry, I'm camera. But anyway. All that to say is like I'm into people kind of giving us something a little bit different, experimenting with the medium, if you will, if you want to use the art form, the art terms. Great joints here on this thing too. It's very it's almost got like a Revoltech style ankle joint that I dig, especially if you got the overlay. You're not really seeing it. Yeah, this is a little bit of a bummer, but I can get it in there. But it doesn't quite sit flush the way I'd like it to.
So did you get yours direct or did you order it from somewhere specific?
I got it direct. I don't know who actually carries who else. If I don't know if you can get it.
Hello Dope was taking orders for him.
Oh, do they? Oh shoot.
They did.
Okay, my bad.
They did. I think
Tell me more about this dope thing. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No. That was your opportunity, man. That was your advertising. It was like perfect product.
That's Hello Dope Toys. They're a great online, there you go. For toys. I'm pretty confident that that's where I pre-ordered mine from because my son wanted him, and I think the horse-looking dude from this line.
Mm-hmm. So not perfect. There's this little paint splotch thing. I didn't even tell them about it, but there's just some cool things going on. I do enjoy the figure. Yeah. Sorry.
That's awesome.
And then the other thing, other figure I got two of these guys, and I really, really like them. It's Masterverse. We were talking about like some of the stuff, the more like mainstream retail. Figures I get. I love Masterverse.
Wait till you're on big screen here.
Oh sure, yeah. We need it for this guy. He's a big dude. Like if you couldn't tell. He's a big dude in comparison. here. Product placement. Yeah, I mean they're so yeah, no, but he moves really well, like especially for a big robot-y guy. I love what's going on
Oh, the
here.
abs seem pretty good there.
Yeah, you know, they got the double jointed this. And then it's also, I don't know what the theme is with these figures that I just got, but you can take them all apart.
Oh,
And I don't know why. And I wouldn't mind it if they did more of this. Oops. But you can take out the arms.
oh, cool.
You can take this. So it's like this armor comes off. There's a little dude in there.
I think I've
This
seen the head
armor.
swap, and I think I've seen people put like a He-Man head on this before.
Yeah. And what's interesting is like this is so this arm is exactly the same as this. It's robotic, right? So they can create the symmetry. Yeah. And so his arm can swing both ways. Oh, okay. Dislocated. But anyway, I would have loved it if you played with Origins, you can pop things out.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome if they could have done that with Masterverse. I understand why they didn't. But they were able to do it with like
is that from Origins or
this is Masterverse?
That's Masterverse. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Masterverse is my jam. I love that's my Motu line. So and I'll stick by.
So I don't collect a lot, but I did get this one a couple weeks ago. Ooh, how did I do that? This.
Oh, you got booted.
What's up?
What's going on? Oh,
yeah, hey, forget him. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh man, they're fighting the ToyLeet. See, this is what I do. I create revolution.
What's up, Ed? How's it going, brother?
Good, man. Let me get my camera going here. Hold on.
Awesome. While he's doing that,
bringing the coffee and miracles, or is that what you're?
While he's doing that, Brick, I don't have too many Masterverse, but I occasionally will grab one that's on super clearance, and I will use them with my fantasy stuff. So like the robot guy, it's too technical for me. I'm not a big like even with my AWOCs, I don't typically pull out the guns and stuff. I stick to the swords and the shields and spears and stuff. I try to stay away from the weapons that are not anything that projects things that's guns and things like that is not really something that in my world that I use. Savage Crucible stuff, it doesn't fit in. So like that guy's cool. I love the modularity to it for sure, but it's probably something that wouldn't end up on my on my collection just because it doesn't fit in. A lot of stuff I'm actually moving away from, which I'll speak to shortly.
Okay, here's the last thing.
You there, Ed? Did we lose you? Oh, cool. Here, let me go.
My camera's acting all wonky. So I just wanted to pop on and say hi to everybody.
Hey, Ed.
Look at that.
Hey, Ed. Thanks for jumping in, buddy.
Hey, I'm uploading the commercial if you want to play it.
You're uploading a commercial?
Yeah, for the HDT commercial. Have you not seen it yet?
Oh. Maybe. Oh, okay. I'll play that shortly. I'll do that as a breaker because I do not have the other item. So what is that there that you're showing, Brick?
This is a dice roller. So you throw the die. It's a D&D thing into the top of the head. But this was on the cover of the first player's manual back in the day, or a version of this. Not the patina one, but like an orange one. And there were like characters sort of like stealing the jewel out of one of the eye. And they made this. It's like a GameStop exclusive. You throw your die in there, and it comes, shooting out here. And it lights up and everything. But it's on clearance now, and I've been looking at it for a long time. What does that run? Like it's 24 something, 20 whatever.
My brother's big into D&D, and he has games at his house and stuff now. So looking for gifts for him for Christmas. That might be something I have to snag for him.
Yeah, there's two versions. There's like the orange version and this sort of like copper patina version that I want to use maybe for ToyVember or some photos or something. We'll see.
That would be awesome.
But that's it.
Hey,
man.
Ed. Awesome. Ed, I still got you on the screen. I know you can't get your camera up. Did you want to say anything else?
Nope, not really. You guys are doing great.
Awesome.
Just got
you're in Texas now, right?
What's that?
You're in Texas now?
Yeah, I just got done. We had graduation today, so spent the afternoon with my daughter, who I haven't seen since May, so that was exciting. And
that's awesome, dude.
Good job, Papa Bear. With her, and then she we're coming home, and then she goes to Fort Shaw, South Carolina. So
Ooh. Okay.
For now, anyway. But
yeah, is that for school training?
yeah, that's her first duty station. But we'll see what happens after that, because she went security forces, which is basically like the Air Force Special Forces. So.
Good deal. Badass. Yeah. Awesome. Congratulations, brother. So very happy for you.
Thank you. I'm going to watch in the background, but the Wi-Fi here in the hotel, of course, is, sketchy at best. So
understood, brother.
I want to pop in and say hi and let you know I uploaded that commercial. So if you want to play it, go ahead and play it. But I'll be watching the background. Thanks for stepping in, Brick. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. Of course. Take care. Have a great
fun.
trip.
I'll see everybody in the chat later on. I'll be in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. Take it easy, brother.
All right, later, guys.
Good deal. I went to remove him. He added himself back. That's just how it works. I'm not used to that. Awesome. And of course, I knew he was going to kick me out because the Genetti commented a few minutes ago. That's where that comes from. So that's cool. Like I said, I'm gonna have to check that out and see if any of my local GameStops have them. See if I can get a hands on it. It'd be a good gift for my brother. That'd be awesome.
You probably can just check it on the GameStop, and if not, you can order. I think you might be able to order them online if there's any old ones.
Cool.
I think this one was 24. The other one might be even cheaper.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, that would be cool. We're always looking for little things for him. He's big into the board gaming stuff, so that would be cool. Good deal. Cool, man. So for me, I got a bunch of stuff this past weekend.
Bring it.
It's kind of crazy. Like I got this box. Here, I'm gonna go on big screen here.
You got a whole box? Cool.
I got this box. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but it's a box. It's the I think it's the man from it's the Once a Man Cobra Snake guy from there. That's gonna be a prize for ToyVember.
Cool.
So this right here is gonna be a prize for ToyVember. So definitely that is gonna be cool. I'm leaving it right in that box so I can easily ship it back out. I also got this guy from our boys over at Hello Dope Toys.
Cool.
Radioactive Man for the Simpsons there. Cool figure for sure. I also have a couple other ones that I got, but I had to get him because Radioactive Man is awesome. How's my camera doing? There we go. So it's cool. I like how it comes with like the comic book diorama. There was that. Mm-hmm. I also got.
Wait, was that articulated? That is articulated, right? Or is that more of a statue?
The
figure.
Radioactive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool. Gotcha.
He's got a bunch of points of articulation. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's also got like the what is it? The light up here. It's the glow in the dark or whatever. So
cool.
Hey Google, turn the office lights off. So if I can get it to work, there you go. Hey Google, turn the office lights back on. So yes, I don't kid. I automate it all. So then I also picked up 2 other figures. I got a mainstream figure, right? Mr. RVD Ultimate Series. This was picked up a couple weeks ago from a buddy of mine who happened to stop in at Ollie's and snag me RVD. He tends to be my clearance guy and snag things that I might not have picked up at retail.
I don't know who RVD is.
I got more, but that's what I got. Give me 1 second. I got this from the Hello Dope Boys.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I got this
little albino bug.
Yep. This will also be a ToyVember prize.
Oh,
so
cool.
There's definitely some packages.
I was gonna say, are you keeping any of your toys? Or you're giving it all away.
What's that?
Are you keeping any of your toys? Or you're gonna give it all away?
So I'm shifting out of the Cosmic Legions, and I thought, what better way to promote ToyVember than to give away some of the ones that I decided not to open. I'm also looking to get out of the G.I. Joe and Valaverse lines, not because anything they've done wrong or anything. Honestly, what it comes down to is I just collect too much stuff, and I'm trying to focus in on like what I really want to collect, and that's my AWOCs, my Brutal Realms, the Savage Crucibles, some Select 4 Horsemen, Mythic Legion ones. I mean, I got the whole wave with the Bear Wave coming at some point when that thing kicks out. So I'm sure they'll be announcing stuff this next couple weeks. So we got a bunch of that stuff coming. So very much so. Not getting rid of everything. That said, I think it's time for.
God, if you have a weak stomach, you may stop right here. Anybody hungry?
That video was filmed on scene. I can't tell you where, but it was filmed on scene. I was
Wherever that is,
about
there's a thing you can drop in your tank that'll help keep your toilet nice and fresh.
Talk to the state. Talk to the state. They need to work on that.
Okay, gotcha. Oh yeah, maybe not.
So this week on the ToyLeet or Toilet segment, I've got another figure here. It's actually the Brock Lesnar figure, Ultimate Collection one. This is actually from his earlier days back in 03 when he became the Universal Champion after, he defeated, was it The Rock or it might have been Hulk Hogan? I can't recall exactly, but he came with the jersey. He has the original tattoos. He's an Ultimate. I'm really happy with this. I have the more recent one where he has the ponytail in it and whatnot. I'm really happy with this. He's got 3 other head sculpts, a couple other hands, but one, I love the universal strap, and this will definitely be going on my Ultimate shelf. Not disappointed with this one at all, and especially at like $10 or $15 on clearance through the Ollie's discounts. Very pleased with this figure. Might be something we see in some ToyVember photo shots for sure. So that kind of brings me up on the ToyLeet or Toilet. So that's going on the shelf. That will not get flushed. There's a little bit of biasness to me, when it comes to wrestlers. So there's definitely that.
So to be clear, you're getting out of cosmics, you're getting out of the sci-fi, you're getting out of the military. You said that the military figs, you said that you're like, getting away from modern weapons, right? Guns, anything like that. So, but you're keeping the wrestling.
The wrestling I will maintain.
And then the sort of barbarian thing. So is it just that you prefer figures that are naked and shiny? is that what's happening? I think I figured it out. I think I discovered something.
Yeah, no, it really just comes down to like what happened with the Joes is that like they were doing like average or so at the beginning, like when they first came out with the production. I wasn't massively like, I was like, oh, these are cool, but they're not like great. And then like Valiverse stuff I came across because I was having a hard time finding Joes and building that up. And I love the armies and having all the different figures and stuff. And everything's really cool. I love the figures. But what it came down to is that honestly, they just started releasing too much stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah, sure.
the Joes were just releasing so much stuff. So I just got to a point where, I sold the Hiss, a couple months back. I've got 2 Dragonflies, I think what they're called, on the way. Those I'll be unloading.
Wow. Okay.
And I basically have like every figure from the Joe line up until maybe the last like 12 months. I kind of eased off just because they were re-releasing so many. And I have every Valiverse and I have multiple versions of them. So I'll likely move on. I'll keep some things, like there's certain things that I like, I'll keep for the display purposes. Sure. But I will shift away from like heavily collecting on those. I even have Series 5 for Valiverse coming at some point with the extra body molds and stuff, which I'm still like Colonel Siege and stuff. I'll probably keep some of those. But I just kind of shifting out of it. There's just so much. And really what it comes down to is I jumped so heavy into those because Joe, like that's that, what would it be? The nostalgia from my childhood, and remembering those as a kid. But I really love the Savage Crucible and the AWOC. And, I love that fantasy kind of like medieval type, world. So like, even like the Conans and things like that, like all of those, they fit into this vision of what my worlds could be somehow.
Yeah, I think I was right the first time. It's the naked, sweaty buff dudes.
You sound like my wife. You sound like my wife. They literally used to refer to it when I would collect wrestlers as, oh, Dad's got his what does she say? She goes, oh, he's got his little guys in their tighty whities. Yeah. Little men in their tighty whities. That's what she would refer to them. But
and
like
their
the furry
friends. Yeah. And their furry friends.
Yeah. But the wrestlers just go back to everything I've enjoyed. So yeah. So that's just where I landed, and I've decided I'm gonna stick with the wrestling because that's always been in my background. You can see the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Core memory.
Exactly. So that's just like that's my jam whenever I think of anything that I was passionate about as a kid and loving. So that's just that's never going anywhere. Got way too many of those. But even those I stopped collecting a little bit during the COVID time because there was just so much stuff being produced. So then when the Ultimates came out, they're a little bit more pricey, but way more detail, and you get more specialized, targeted, like more more specialized gear and stuff, right? So more prominent events and the times they were in different gear. So to me it was like, oh, I can collect a few less, focus in on what I really want and stick to those. So that's really what I kind of stuck to and where I've decided. But I mean, my youngest son still collects all of the Marvel Legends. My oldest son collects the Marvel Legends. My youngest son collects Star Wars Black Series. So there's still a ton of plastic being consumed in this house. And I mean, even the figures you were just holding up, those are things that I'll be getting, and I'm always open to a new line. And I mean, I still, these guys aren't. These guys aren't goofy, man, but they're little cool goofy guys, and I think the Thunderlings are awesome. So, I collect some of those. So
I'm teasing, man.
Getting out of Mega Man. I got out of Mega Man, so like, and Street Fighter, I'm kind of shifting out of just because there's so much, man, and I'm really trying.
You got to keep like one Mega Man though.
Oh, I'll keep Blue Mega Man. I'll keep the Blue Mega Man for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I already have them, but I'm not going like crazy to grab all of the different iterations of them and stuff. And I mean, I just got into the Simpsons line, like, and now that's one that my son and I are collecting together. So like, I got to pick and choose those. So yeah, there's a lot of so much out there, man.
Yeah, but it really is.
I mean, and one thing I think where I decided to pull back was because I wanted the Monster Force stuff that Ed was big into and stuff that just came out. And there's really cool stuff there. And it's taken a lot to control myself. I think the last time you and I were on a stream together with him, we talked about that. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll go pre-order all the Monster Force figures because those kind of fall into that, military stuff. And then I was like, I eased out of it real quick because it's just it's an issue. But I think we got a few folks in the chat here.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump over there. We've got, I think I've got everybody here, but we got DJ 5000. Sup, guys? Welcome. We've got Tony Figs. What's going on, homies?
Oh, ¿qué pasó, carnal?
Thank you. I was gonna say I'm gonna need your help here, Britt. I don't do so well with that. Thank you. We've got Oz over here shouting out friends. Art G jumping in the chat. And then we've got Thanos here also. I don't know if I already starred him or not.
You didn't get suckered into those World of Warcraft toys.
Me?
Those are just Thanos was saying he got suckered into those World of Warcraft toys.
Well, that's another thing
for him. That's a core memory for him. That's a core memory for him. That's like his. So he just.
Well, that's the other thing. You've got all of those 5K toy stuff that just kind of fits into that fantasy realm. And I mean, how many Sabretooths am I going to have to get over the course of the next 6 months to a year too? From Creative Beasts and everybody. So
well, that's the thing with the World of Warcraft stuff. It's like that's one of those things that's like he's been into that game, but then who knew that like a gajillion companies overseas would be doing unlicensed awesome World of Warcraft figures. Yeah. And so it's you got to take advantage of it. So and like I said, none of it's bad. It's all like really solid toys. So
absolutely.
Gift horse.
I think I've got a couple here. So we've got Briscoe in. We've got Briscoe. We've got this guy here. He's the Genetti of the group, but he is 100% right in this. He has a buying too much crap problem. And then DJ points out Savage Crucible 2 is coming soon, and that I'm really pumped for because I don't have enough humans to fight off all of these Lemurians I've been collecting since I doubled in on the Wave 1. So, I mean, I got a double wave of AWOC 2 coming at some point. So, like, I've got a lot of crap coming, man. like a lot. So my son had to have one of those pails, one of those what are they? The translucent pails too.
Yeah. So, hey, so this is actually an intervention. Here's the deal, man. When you've got a bunch of toy collectors telling you that you've got a spending habit, then it's real bad.
You know who's gonna hate you guys? It's Hella Toys. Those guys are gonna hate you. And I don't think Jason over at Spiro is going to be too fond of you either if you keep saying that.
I'm just saying, like, when we're telling you, if Ed's telling you you're buying too much stuff, it's like, ooh.
Right. No, absolutely.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so
man,
definitely got
no.
to ease off
You
some of
got good
that.
taste.
And
That's the problem. You got good taste.
dude, there's so much cool stuff, and it's like art. I love looking at it. Like I've got a bunch of guys on my desk here, and they just stand there, and I'll just pick them up and look at them.
Yep.
And the artwork, it's art, and I love it.
Mhm.
So that's where I struggle. That said, I think now is the best time to jump into this and kind of pull up. Oop, maybe if I add, there we go. So special guest this week, ToyVember talk. So we have Brick something. If you guys are just tuning in, he's here filling in for our my counterpart here of the ToyLeet, Ed. As Ed is traveling, he did jump in and try to kick me out. I kicked him out. Ed was, Brick was running the show by himself. We have Brick here. We're going to talk this week about ToyVember. That starts on Friday. You've got 2.5 days left to pre-register. We'll talk about that momentarily. But before we do that, I'm going to kick it off to this.
Down by the creek where the water flows, we're shouting out to those who know. Spreading joy, sharing love, ToyLeet fam, you rise above. Shout out from the creek, you're the best. Hype up the heroes who've passed the test. Community stars shining bright, lifting each other, it feels so right.
So on this week's shout out from the crick, even though Ed's not here, I'm going to keep the tradition alive, and I'm going to do it. This week's this week's shout out is A Punk with Toys.
Hey,
And the reason we want to shout out A Punk with Toys is because he pays our bills. No, that's not it. That's not it. It's because he owns YouTube, and that's not it either. It's because the dude is just an awesome, genuinely cool dude. He says it like it is sometimes, and some people might not like that, but I love it because you know where you stand with Punk, and he's just genuinely a good dude. He comes out, he blabs for 3 hours to lure you into some 10-minute topic on a Monday night. But also, for me personally, this dude reached out to me when I first started to introduce myself to the community, and he brought me on his show for A Punk with Friends. We had a really good chat. He reminded me about how he hung out with 93-something thousand friends back at WrestleMania 3 to make me jealous as a wrestling fan. But A Punk with Toys also, more importantly, recently did some really cool stuff. He spent quite a bit of time over the past several months building up and planning out what ended up being, in my opinion, a blast for the parts that I was able to jump in, listen to, or take part in, which was a 36-hour stream with the goal of raising funds to give kids Christmas, right? As a guy himself who grew up relatively poor, I mean, to say the least, I didn't get much for Christmas. And I know my mom was definitely a recipient of, those, what was it? Well, I'm blanking there. Where did the toys go? Toys for Tots. Sorry.
sure.
Toys for Tots. I couldn't think of the word. Thank you. Toys for Tots. I know we received things, and some years that might be the only gifts we got. So I know how important that is to the communities and stuff. So the fact that Punk put that together, had so many awesome people. I think, Brick, you were on at one point. You already talked to. I know I was on. Hella dope guys were on. Oz was on. I'm not going to try to. I know Aaron Payne Toys was on. There were so many folks on the shows over the weekend, and he drove that through, and he still came out on Monday night and streamed again for what I think was close to 3 hours, if not 3 hours, even though he said he wasn't gonna. But the dude did an awesome job raising a ton of money to go out to Reds over there, Sarge Reds out his way to pick up toys and donate those for the holidays. So Punk with Toys, awesome job. And thank you for all that you do in the community, supporting those within it and the kids that may not, even be in the community yet. Hopefully someday, right?
Yep.
So that's where we are there, Brick. I don't know if you want to crap on Punk for a second because I normally pick on him here. But
no, I don't need to crap on Punk. You guys handle that just fine. I'll just sit here and giggle.
And just for good times, even though he's not here.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
That's his little thing, his theme. We give it to him every time he jumps in. So that's Punk. Now on to ToyVember. That's what I want to cover first. Just a reminder. ToyVember, it's this concept, completely original, not made from anything else on earth. This is the first time ever. Not quite true. I definitely took it a little bit from Inktober, which is an artistic thing where folks draw. I know that there's the October that's been going on from the ACB group. I always forget what they're called, but the
ACBA.
action, that group there, they do something in October. We do something now in November called ToyVember. I didn't realize that existed. Otherwise, I would have just rolled with the punches on theirs. But this is a little bit different because it's a month-long challenge. Post a photo every day. Pre-register online at the links. You can find them on Instagram. You can find them in the description for this video. And if you pre-register before the 1st, you get bonus points. And then every day you take part in the event, you get points for participation. And additionally, you have the opportunity to earn points from the judges that will be taking part all month long to kind of throw around some of their points that they have based on what they like. And each judge is their own fan. Maybe they like 1/18th. Maybe they like, 1/6 scale. Maybe they like outdoor shots. Whatever their preferences, are going to be throwing points out there too. So you have an opportunity to earn collective points over participation. What's more important is that you get to take part with the Brotherhood, but another incentive is there's going to be prizes. If you're in the continental US, you have an opportunity to win prizes. We'll talk more about that later, but I just wanted to give everybody a little preview about that, and then also slip in the first day prompt, giving folks a little head start here that are tuning in this week. Day 1 prompt is the arrival-introduction. Have fun with it. I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm doing it. I know how I'm doing it for all 30 days. Mine are going to connect because I want to tell a story, but you don't have to. You can use Mattel, you can use Hasbro, you can use Spiro, you can use Valaverse, you can use Legos, you can use Barbies, you can use whatever you want. If it's plastic and it's a toy, well, if it's friendly toys and it's plastic, do as you please and give us photos. Follow the ToyLeet Takeover, hashtag ToyVember, ToyLeet, post daily, earn points, have a chance to win prizes. We'll announce the winners on the first ToyLeet Takeover of December, just in time to receive your packages shortly thereafter before the holidays. So that's pretty cool. Prizes will depend on how many folks join. Right now, we have a decent amount of people that have already joined, so I'm really excited about that. But hopefully your shares will continue to draw others in. Cool.
Yeah, man, and like I said, you guys inspired me to try. I don't know that I'll be able to do all 30 days, but at least shoot a couple things, and I'm trying to slowly get into it. So
yeah.
So I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And between you guys and and Brian, who's in the chat, Endless Fables, and all the folks doing the AWOC group photo collab.
Yeah.
All of that. It's like, oh, you know what? I should just try, just give it a shot. So I'm into this.
He's one of the ones that motivates me to want to do it. Him, Realm of Toys, and Emerald Knight. Those are and there's even this guy, Matthew Goldberg, who does like wrestling figures, like those ones that do it, and they do like even in Ed, like the stuff I see these folks post, it's like motivated me, which is where I kind of came up with this idea for those that are, pen to paper broken like I am, where you can't put your concepts in your mind on paper as well as you can maybe in an action figure or a piece of art you already have, and you can use your phone because we're all used to taking selfies. So at this point, we should be able to grab a picture or two of something else. So that's really the idea here. Have fun with it. I've been wanting to do it. I want to do it for so long. This was kind of my way of putting it out there and forcing myself to take part in that side of the community, which I think is a really cool one. And, Endless Fables, I know he does his, the collabs, and a lot of his stuff is the stuff that I really enjoy seeing on Facebook and Instagram for sure.
I know you were about to bring up the news, but can I ask a couple questions about ToyVember?
Yeah, man, let's go.
Okay. So just so there's going to be a different prompt every day. How, like you're given November or the first day of November now, will you be giving it to us like every day or in advance? Just because I'll be honest, like, I'd love to participate. I don't know that I'm going to be doing them in bursts. So the bigger heads up I have about what's coming up, but are you thinking you're going to reveal them every single day?
That's a good point. That's originally going to do it every day, but I don't want people to be discouraged from taking part. So I know like a lot of the Inktober, I think they post the entire list out in advance. So maybe let me talk to Ed and see.
Yeah.
We'll post it in like 10-day bursts so people have a head start and can, on day one, day one they're getting now. And then, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and throw out a bunch more on Thursday night into Friday. Let me talk to Ed and see. Originally it was the idea list them each day, but I like the idea, you know, maybe like, you know, other people say a week at a time, right? You know, something.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there because you know it's uh life can be hectic for some of us, and to be I can't necessarily like shoot something every day, and I probably would shoot more if I kind of had like a burst, you know, but like okay, cool, and have them kind of in the can. Like
You
I'm
know,
going to be going to Legion's
no,
Con, and I
yeah,
won't
yeah,
be
yeah.
around too. So
No, that's good. I actually like that idea. So actually, I'm going to make the decision. I see Ed saying a week at a time. I'm actually going to throw it out there. What we'll
cool.
do is we'll announce all of them prior to Friday. Maybe I'll announce the first 10. I say all of them. We'll announce them all in advance, so that's not a daily thing. But what I'll do is I'll announce them in 10-day bursts. What we'll do is day 1 through 10, just because that's the way I got this sheet set up and designed. So I'll drop the
That
first
makes
10.
sense.
And we'll do those right off the rip, so everyone has that first 10. And then by day 7 we'll announce the 11 through 20, and then day 14 we'll give you 21 through 30 to keep engagement that way, and then also give folks an opportunity to get a head start. So we'll burst them out in 3 subsequent groups. That way folks can jump in at any time and take part. And it also, the idea for me, like I'm going to do it over 30 days. I can't win prizes. I'm not taking prizes, right? Because
Sure.
I'm donating them, and we have folks donating them. But I'm going to take part just to challenge myself. But I have a head start over what all the prompts are because I know them all. So let's, you know, so me trying to tell a story for 30 days is going to be a lot easier than if I, you know, others that may not have that vision of what the whole thing looks like. So,
Right. And so
we'll
like
go ahead and do that.
that'd be great. And so Ed, see, look, I'm just a guest and I'm thinking, but Ed is saying should still be posted on the it should still be posted on the day it is, which if I'm interpreting what he's saying, yeah, people should like wait, don't like throw them up in 10 days, but like yeah, and that's easy as long as like I have it ready. Like, you know, again, I'll be in Legion's Con, but I can always hit send or whatever. That's not a problem. It's the setting up, having the figs next to me, taking pictures. And I know you guys are being super like you want to encourage us to just jump in there. So it's not necessarily the kind of thing where it has to be a full on setup, dio, lighting. Is that right?
You know
or what are we thinking?
I think actually what I'm going to do, and Ed, I'm going to take the executive decision on this. I'm going to release all 30. We've given a preview for 1. So I'm going to give the, you know, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to announce all 30 tomorrow. So folks have it in advance, you know, a couple days in advance of the first, but we'll post daily what each prompt is as a reminder for those that are just slipping in. You can only get credit for the post of that specific one on the day it's intended. So if you did the arrival introduction on day 20, hey, great job. You just found out about it and just took part, but you're not getting credit for the ToyVember points process there. We want you engaged the entire time and really challenge yourself. So we'll approach it that way. I love the idea and the spitballing here, Brick. So we'll announce all of them. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Cool. And actually, so I was just saying, and you're good with like anything, right? Like, do you want people to really just jump in? I think you had some like slides. Was it later that you wanted to show some photos of samples or?
Sorry. Give me a second here.
I love that you're looking up and stuff because I know I've seen your setup. So it's like you're in the Matrix. You're the dude in the Matrix on the light.
Yes. Did I not do that right? Hold on. I didn't unhide it. Hold on. Okay. So we're about to get the full mode and the full view right now. I'm going to let everybody see it today on this stream, and then we will be posting them collectively. So there's the 30 days.
Oh, right on.
We'll go that route. Since we're going to do this, we'll do that, and then we'll go ahead and be posting each one as a reminder each day. So very much so can play into a consecutive story, or it can be done independently. They don't need to be connected. You are not necessarily going to get more points or less points for not connecting them, but I wanted to have it be something that could be told the story or stand alone, and these really can. You can use Wrestlers Day 1, you can use Animal Wars of the Kingdom Day 2. It doesn't need to connect, but it's done in a way to give you some kind of challenge to potentially connect them if you choose to do so.
These are great, man. I love the pulpy vibe. You know, it's like moment of doubt.
Yep.
I
think it'll be cool. I look forward to seeing what folks do. I really excited about this. So Brick over here, the guest, just kind of completely jacking up the ToyVember plans, but I appreciate it and I like it because I want more engagement. I'd rather have somebody take
Yeah,
part all 30 days because they could get a head start on
exactly.
it. Like
Yeah.
me, I know that I'm setting up my area off to the side on a table and what I plan to do because I want to connect everything. It was all there. I've already got it all planned out, and I'm just going to go through and be able to take everything. So let's make it easy enough for everybody else to do the same.
Yeah, and again, it's not like you said, you guys are, you want to encourage folks to jump in. So it's not like I can see some other contests where they're like they want to make it a even playing field so that everyone takes a shot on the same day. But those are really like judging the photo and and you guys are doing something a little bit different. You're really trying to
Absolutely.
encourage all of us to just like have some fun with it and get out there and do something. So this
Exactly.
helps.
No, absolutely.
That's cool, man.
Appreciate
Thank
the
you.
feedback for sure, brother. Any other
Yeah.
questions on it? Or?
Well, Ed's mad at me, but no, we're all good. Damn it,
Awesome.
Brick.
Good deal. Good deal.
He does remind you should review.
Let's dive in.
Sorry, what was that?
He did remind you though that you should review the posting hashtag rules and that.
Oh, yes. We'll review that for sure.
Okay.
We'll review that as we go into the later portion of the main
Cool.
topic for sure. So this week, the weekly news, we're going to dive in as our buddy over at Realm of Toys says, and we're going to jump right on into Armies of Ashmore. They had a brief update today or yesterday, one of the two. I saw some stuff.
Yeah.
Really, the big thing for here is that the production's on schedule. Parts are ready to ship from the factory, expected within about a month or so. Final shipping timelines and costs are still being arranged on things, and they're getting the updated address being collected to ensure smooth delivery in the U.S. Any shipping invoices will be sent out once the items actually are received stateside. And then additionally, they did mention that they will be at Legion's Con, and there will be a creator display, will display finished products, but they won't be selling any to ensure that backers that backed it receive their product samples. I'm sorry, their production products in advance of any other ones being sold. So the right thing to do, but you should be able to see these in person at Legion's Cons if you are attending. So some really cool stuff there. I thought this was cool. I didn't back this one. Did you back this one, Brick?
I did. I'm really excited to see them in next week, basically this Friday, or 2 Fridays from now. But yeah, I did. And I think I got 3 dinos, if I'm right. Yeah. I got like
Awesome.
a Milwick who's got the big long neck. I got one of the Tyranna, or what do you call them? Oh my gosh, so bad.
Triceratops?
Ceratopsians, and the Stegosaurus kind of reddish dude. So I'm excited, but they're big. So I am curious to hear how much they're gonna cost to ship, because they're
Ooh, I didn't think about that. They are weighted, right?
heavy.
They're like,
yeah,
they're gonna be big boys.
And I got a bunch of the weapons too. So either way, I think it's really cool, sculpted by the 4 Horsemen, and so I'm really excited to sort of see how these turn out.
Oh, these were sculpted by the 4 Horsemen?
Yeah. He
Didn't realize
Matt
that.
Rodriguez worked with them. It's his designs for the whole
cool.
like Ideas from Mars folks, Armies of Ashmore and Defenders of Eden's the name of the comic. And he worked with them to kind of figure out sculpting and even articulation stuff. And so, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I saw these a little late in the game, and I was so kind of like, if I remember, I was just getting into the release of the AWACS that were hitting the stages, being able to pick those up, and back in Savage and stuff when this stuff was all kind of like right there. So I was kind of like in the midst of getting into the independent line and stuff. So yeah, no, this is exciting. This will be cool. I'll probably pick one up after the fact once they're available. I'm sure my son, my youngest son of wonder, as we refer to him, is a huge Triceratops fan. So he loves those. So we'll probably grab one of those for him.
Cool looking figures, man. I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah. So then we have one of your favorites and my favorites.
Yeah.
Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And I'll cover this. And I think you have a little something you want to show here in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I'll go ahead and show this. I didn't show these last week, but this was part of your update. The brawler bodies that are in process, and kind of showing it in comparison to some of the standard bodies that we've seen previously, or specifically in this case, these are the Wave 4 Gladiators, which I believe are now shipping as of an announcement the other day. I was lucky enough to snag a couple of these at ZoloCon myself, directly from Derek and Jason.
Yeah, you did.
August. and took them to the beach and played in the sand with them with my son for a little bit. So very cool figures, the gladiators, and I cannot wait to get some of these additional releases.
That's
I'm gonna
awesome. For a second there, I thought you took Jason and Derek to the beach and played with them in the sand, but that's cool.
I mean, we could have. I would have totally been fine. Those guys are awesome, dude. So we would have
Yeah.
figured something out. We would have totally figured something out for sure.
No, you
So-
really got lucky with that, man. You got those way earlier than anybody else. So
Yeah.
so congrats on that. And I'm really looking forward to mine. I'm hoping they should
They're
be here
really
this
cool.
week. I'm hoping
I'm not
before
a-
I go.
I'm not big into buying like the re-releases and stuff, but I really like what they did with Pale. And I think this is a trio, right? If I have the names
Atreyu,
right.
yeah.
So I did get is it a cheetah? I don't know what that character's name is.
Yeah. How Kin. Is that right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I got that one, but they did not have the jackal or wolf or whatever it was. They were
Right.
already sold out of him, and I was so bummed out about that. But I've got some of that's coming from, I think, Helidope Toys here at some point. So I know that they'll be getting theirs at some point, and then I'll get mine. So I'm not one of those people that needs to. I don't do reviews. I don't need it yesterday. I just happened to stumble across these guys at ZoloCon, which I knew they were going to be there. And some product that I want to get my hands on early. My youngest son of Wonder loves the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. So
Cool.
saw those. He's like, yeah, we need these. So very cool. But you've got some really cool stuff. So I want to let us see what you're showing here.
Sure.
You'll show us yours here is kind of
Okay.
the approach.
So real quick before you bring that up, what you're seeing there is cool. There were some like sizing issues with the brawler bucks that you're seeing there. And so there was a little bit of back and forth, and there was a tiny little slowdown in production, but things are back on track. And they look really good. I think he looks that's father and son right there, by the way. That's Hannibal and his son Atreyu.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yep. It's really it's cute. But
That's
so I'm
freaking
looking
awesome.
forward to getting those. And then yes, if you want to, I don't know if you see my screen. It's
I
being
do.
shared now. So these haven't been shown anywhere. These are going to be shown tomorrow in the update over on the AWA Kickstarter. So this is the final product shot that will sort of be used for solicitations and stuff of Mamba. And so we've been sharing there the past couple of weeks, the Paint Master that Jason's been working on. And this is it. This is the final deal of the Paint Master, at least. And you can see the weapons. This is the first time that we're seeing sort of the weapons in their glory. He's got 3 huge weapons. This hammer is going to be larger than Thane's. I think it definitely thicker in girth. I don't know. I love how he turned out and all the weapons.
Yeah.
Like, this is the texture on the weapons that they worked on. This is so fantastic.
So talented, man. So talented. I mean, I love AWOC. I'm all in, been all in since I got these. And, I was all about that no sleep till Mamba action earlier this year. So this is exciting. I'm so happy we're going to get this. This is really cool.
Yeah, I just feel like, man, what is the sound of this thing? But it's like
the hammer from Thang is huge. So this, I can't wait to see this in hand. Like this is like Son of Wonder is gonna have to be careful. I'll chase him down with this if he gets out of line.
And then I love, you can kind of see everything going on. Some of the shots that we had before were like really preliminary. So like the way that the tattoo was sitting on was like super shiny and looked odd, but I feel like it's settled in now, and you can kind of see the full deal. And I'll show you a couple more shots to talk about articulation in a second.
Yeah. And
but
one
you
of
can
the
see
things, one of the things as a fan, right? I don't get the inside as you, but this is awesome. The tattoo work, the tribal stuff on there. But like what I've always been so impressed with for the AWOCs is the color palette, the color choices, that purple, the blues. Like they use colors that I believe, and I'm not an artist by any sense of meaning, but I think there's like a color palette, like, and there's certain things you're supposed to use and not, and somehow they find ways to use colors together that I normally don't see on things. And I just am like, I love it. It's got like a good, like it's got like a cartoonish enough to it, like to give it that like 80s, 90s kids cartoon look, but also clean enough that it doesn't have, like, it's not baby, right? It's not it's not like too childish, like a Simpsons type approach to it, but it's just so clean, and they all like you guys always do a great job with that stuff. Huge fan, love it all.
Yeah. Well, they're it's not, man, you know, that's the creative team, and they do their thing, and I'm just like fan who found himself in a weird, awesome position. But I agree with you on the color, and Jason's definitely like, you know, he understands his color theory, but at the same time, it doesn't really limit him. And I think you're 100% right that like, the colors are very unique for this line, right? It's not necessarily trying to be like super grim and dark, but it's also like it's a balance, right? It's fantasy, it's a little bit of that 80s cartoon sensibility.
Yeah.
There's obviously a little bit of sci-fi there. I hope that doesn't keep you from buying them.
No, I'm in there.
Yeah,
I
okay,
will say,
cool,
like,
cool,
when
cool.
you guys started
Yeah.
doing the lore and stuff, it
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
like there's certain characters that I'm like, I don't need an extra set of that weapons pack, or I
Sure,
don't need
sure.
this. But like, I'm like the robotic arm, I can deal with that. Like, that's
Okay.
fine. I just don't want
Good,
the
good, good.
weapons that are pulsating across the screen. So for
Well,
me,
if
just give me another. I'll just give him a battle axe or something and call it a day.
real quick, just so you know, so there are some of these details that are sculpted in, like this right here is sculpted into this section of the arm.
Okay.
That I understand that they're when they tool them up, they're also tooling a bear section of that.
Oh, cool.
A BARE section of that, not a bear
Yep.
section. So like, you know, potential like future reuses of this buck can be, you know, maybe we get like a full on, you know, an elephant that doesn't have that. Same goes with this little
Yeah.
detail here. Beyond that, all this stuff is removable. I
That's
share
smart,
that
though.
because, yeah, so you can get a fully naked elephant. So I think it still
Well,
works for you.
you explained to everybody why I'm in
Yeah,
it. to
yeah,
begin with, so.
yeah. So this is new. This is a brand new shot, and what I love about this is you can see the ears, the
I was
articulated
gonna say
ears.
they look like they articulate.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see that. So those will definitely move, and then you'll get a little bit of you see there's a lot of clearance here, so you should get some good up and down movement, you know, for such a giant fig. This thing does not have any joints, you'll notice, right? So the trunk doesn't have any visible joints. That's because there's a wire in there and it's going to be bendy. So
I remember them talking about it being articulating and adding
Yeah.
that trunk articulation into it. It's such awesome, and love the fact that they're doing exactly what they said they were going to do, right? As you guys promoted the AWalk Kickstarter for this second series, right? Is building out the parts library, knowing that
Yep.
you're taking the extra consideration, or Jason's taking the extra consideration, Spiro's taking that to make sure that they build that bicep out without the additional molding, or the thigh out with the additional molding. That gives us that faith that when we want a rhino, or they introduce a dinosaur, whatever it might be, it's that easy to do it because they have the parts library readily available to them. So that's awesome.
I'm loving this thing, man. I'm thinking of like a Ganesh like custom. Anyway, here's even more. I love, you know, you got to do the sort of worm's eye view to get that big, imposing, bulky body on an elephant like this. So I'm glad that they included this shot. I love it. Kind of see what he looks like lording over you. Someone in the chat, who was it? Was it Nolan? Actually, Brian, Endless Fables, was saying he loves the eyes. I 100% love the eyes. There's like a dark, cavernous, you know, shading going around there, and then the red eyes. I don't know. I think they're pretty cool. And then there's the weapons again, but we're gonna see.
Sorry, Brick. Briscoe says here the really cool are the tusks removable. It'd be really cool if you wanted to swap them out for a broken battle damaged one.
Oh, you know what? I mean, I will say that you don't see a lot of the cuts here, like, because this doesn't necessarily represent all the cuts. I don't. But so I don't know about that. I'll ask Jason about that, because I think it's a really cool idea. Like they could do multiple, like without having to reproduce the head,
without a separate head sculpt, right? You just have to pop out a tusk and break one or something,
or even like different shapes, and you can get customizers to like go wild with like awesome ones, or like woolly mammoth mastodon style ones.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, and so Tomorrow, it's actually tomorrow, not next week, but tomorrow we'll be revealing some of these and some other potential figures that we haven't seen yet. We haven't gotten updates yet from this Kickstarter.
Gotcha.
So we might be seeing a little bit more. That's tomorrow. I'll prep that tonight. And then this weekend is Monkey Business over on Highly Articulated channel on Sunday, 2:00, 2:05-ish. So
I always got to catch it on the replay, but I will definitely be checking it out because that's where I get my latest and greatest from you guys. Love me some Monkey Talk.
Yeah. So I'm not even 100% yet sure if I'll even be able to be there on time. We'll see, because we'll be coming in from Tahoe. But either way, there will be Adam there and likely Jason, and they will be giving updates. I think someone was asking about issue 5. That would definitely be the place to check out, and I'll make sure to at least have Jason address it, whether, like, I don't know where it's at, but just to make sure that he's ready to.
Yeah, I think Nolan was asking about issue 5. I pre-ordered issue 5, I think, or I thought I got it from I pre-ordered it from my local comic shop. But I know that I definitely pre-ordered the paperback trade back or whatever.
The trade?
It's all 5. Yeah. So I know I pre-ordered that already.
Yeah, and sorry, I didn't mean to imply like there's anything. It's coming. No, like it exists. So it's in the solicitation through previews and Diamond Publishing. So it's ready. So like basically real soon, we're finally going to finish that first story arc.
So
and as you said, we're going to get the trade paperback, and then we'll see what happens beyond that in the new year. So
I'm looking forward to it. I know as a lore guy, this is like one of my favorites. So even though they might introduce guns and things like that, I can accept it because I love the lore and I love what they do with this line. So truly one of my favorites to talk about. You and Adam do a great show and have done a great show where you talked about the lore and stuff. So that's really, like, between seeing them and hearing you guys talk about it, I was like all in on this line because it all connects to what I truly enjoy. So very, very pumped for that. Awesome. And thank you for sharing and taking the time out to join and share these kind of exclusive or pre-release
100%.
to No Sleep for Mamba. So I know that those in the chat that are AWOC fans are definitely appreciative of that for sure.
Cool, man.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't want to be on here tonight and not give you something new. Like literally, as you were talking right before we started, I was like, oh, let me go grab the stuff. Yeah.
So. Awesome. Good deal. This is the next one I got on the news here. Shifting away from AWOCs, but still kind of in some, beast worlds and characters. This is one that I think you like because I think you're big in here. I actually finally ordered one of the Sabertooths. So the news on this is they showed the Stegosaurus that's in progress. This is a 1/18 scale, so this is for you, Fat Red, that loves his 1/18 figure stuff. A little teaser, and they will show this prototype at Legion's Con in less than 2 weeks. So for those that are fans of Creative Beast Studios and the lines for the Beast of Mesozoic, you can check this out in New Jersey in just about a week and a half or so.
Man, I'm gonna be staring at that thing in real life for sure. I hope they bring. I know it's old news, but I hope they bring the Arctic Dragon prototype because I haven't seen it in real life. I think you got to see it at PowerCon. Am I right?
So PowerCon was rough for me, dude. There was so much going on. I was new to the world of this, and so there was like so much that I saw that I don't remember. There's so many people that I met that I forgot that I met there, and it's just crazy. But I know that they had stuff there. Is the Arctic? Is that the
Arctic
one
Dragon is a big old, like, it's 3 foot long because of the long tail, like 2 foot tall, whitish, purplish dragon.
1/18 though, right?
I mean, yes, that's when you say that, it's like, yes, it is. Probably, like, I don't know. I haven't seen any real life dragons, so I don't know how they actually scale in real life. But it's the same thing goes with the dinosaurs. It's like, again, I guess if you're doing Jurassic Park, sure, but like as far as I understand history as a history teacher, humans weren't hanging out with dinosaurs, despite what the Flintstones taught me. But
I was abducted last week. You're not accurate on that. I have like way more knowledge from that abduction last week. that I can tell you. We'll have to talk about it offline.
Okay, fair enough. But I will say, dude, just look at that Stegosaurus, like the paint jobs. We were talking about Jason and what he does.
good.
This is a whole other, just a different way of doing the realism. Like it's super painterly and gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I can't even wrap my head around how the factory for Creative Beasts handles their stuff, man. It's just like it's so much detail, and I don't know. And the quality's super high. So obviously they're not the cheapest
Do you
toys,
own any of this already?
I do. I've got well, not this, but I've got like a raptor over here. They're gorgeous, and I intentionally chose like the most colorful one. Give me a second. Yeah, man, they do top notch work. The sculpts are fantastic. The paint is fantastic.
Let me pull that up real quick. I don't know that I've seen that.
This is older, the Linharaptor, but this is an example since it's related to Mamba. Like this is a wired thing too, so
that's so cool.
It's come a long way. We're gonna get it in Nemesis Enforcer, but Creative Beasts was doing it, and Spiro's gonna be doing it.
I ordered my Creative Beast like a week or so ago. I'm trying to find. Oh, there it is. I ordered the Smilodon Popular.
Did you get the black colored one or the sort of tannish one? You're talking the Smilodon is like a saber-tooth cat.
It's the 112 saber-tooth that I ended up getting. I was just trying to open up my screen there. I'm going to switch back here for that. But I think I got the black one. I have to go look at my order, but I think I got the black one because it was on like the pre-order. I don't think I was able to find the other one still, but I could be just overlooking it. I definitely want to get both because they're perfect for my humans and the Savage World stuff that I'm really into.
They will definitely be available. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. They'll be available, but I love that they're doing them in the two colors. I went with the all black, but I might.
That's what I got. That's what I got. Because even there's the other group that there's the other line. I can't think of it, but there's a few of those 5K toys looking ones that are out there that they're doing with like I can't think of what it's called. There's another line.
You talking dinosaurs?
No, just like saber-tooth and stuff and horses, and I want to say it starts with an F. I just can't.
Fish toys. So it's D13. Not D13. Oh my gosh, D20. Oh, it used to be called D something. I'm blanking now, but it's now Fish Toys. Okay. And between them and Thanos, if you're in the chat, help me out. The folks who are doing the World of Warcraft tigers, Memory Toys, Medi Toys is also doing those tigers. So you're likely talking about like the Fish Toys horses with the
the fabric or the real horsehair looking thing.
That's another company. Gorgeous stuff. I have the boar. I have the wolf.
Amazing stuff. Yes. Yeah. And that's, again, another reason I'm looking to get out of the Joes, because there's all of these mounts and stuff that I want for my fantasy stuff ever since Ed got me taking my crap outside. So there's that whole bag of tricks. So this is cool. Looking forward to Creative Boost Studios. Again, I've got my first item ordered with them, so very excited to get my first piece of plastic from those guys. But this is cool for those that are in 1/18th, or maybe you want to just get into using this with some savages, since anything can happen in that world, or whatever. Very cool stuff. Next, we're going to jump into Fresh Monkey Fiction. They had a recent announcement the last few days, specifically the Fresh Monkeys. Agent Carter. It's an elite undercover unit born from a failed military experiment, secretly fights against global threats with unorthodox methods. They're celebrating their 10 years of Fresh Monkey Fiction with a new line, the Fresh Monkey action figure, specifically starting out with Agent Carter, the Phantom Chimp. So this is all part of the 25th anniversary of Big Bad, and their 1/12 scale figure that's pre-ordered right now, which I'm happy this came out after. It was announced after we saw some of the other items from Fresh Monkey recently, because I know a lot of people were getting a little nervous, and some folks were, right? Some people were like, "Oh, let's see it." But after what I've heard for the what are they called? The Monster Force stuff. This is really cool to see. I'm not somebody that wants this, but I could see folks getting into this, and I'm sure Ed will be looking at this himself. I'm just picturing Ed getting this character, using with his Monster Force folks, and if nothing else, seeing if he could pop those hands out and pop a head on here and use it in some sort of custom 007 look. So pretty cool.
I love it, man. I think the head sculpt is gorgeous. Really
I'm not even going
looking.
to try that. I struggle one time. I'm going to go to the chat real quick. There's a few messages in here that I didn't call out, so I want to make sure I get those. We had Endless Fables, PowerCon, info overload for sure was definitely, and as a vendor there, like last minute with everything, it was just a hell of a trip, but it was cool. I know that Nolan was asking here about the issue 5. You already covered that. Then we have Emerald Knight Photos jumped in. Says he's going to see you on Sunday, Brick.
Yes.
We've got Ed here promoting ToyVember, so check that out. And as we already alluded to, Endless Fables jumped into the chat. He was a big Animal Warriors Kingdom fan, and he is a big community member with the photos and such. So check his stuff out for sure. And he's
also got some product that we will be bringing to Legions Con, and we'll talk more about that on the show this Sunday. But
I saw the pictures posted in the last couple days, so some cool stuff there. I won't speak to it in depth, but I will let you hold that back.
Beautiful, handcrafted stuff. Totally. Would you call it plastic passion? For sure, man. Yeah, he's doing good stuff.
And he suggested for the ToyVember, he encourages everyone to use your Animal Warriors figures, Animal Warriors the Kingdom figures for those. I'm not saying that I wouldn't enjoy that at all, because I definitely would. So yeah, I think that brings us up to that. Jumping past this one into a quick update on a Kickstarter, and let me see if I can hide that current comment. There we go. We had the 9 to 5. This one recently ended after last week's show, so I just wanted to give everybody an update. It did hit just over 67,000, which the goal was 45,000, and they gave a brief update just thanking everyone for the incredible amount of support. As I've alluded to previously, we don't tell you guys to go back any specific Kickstarter because I have no incentive to do so. I just share the stuff that interests me, that I like. I also don't want to be held accountable for promoting this stuff if something doesn't come through. That said, 9 to 5 Warriors, this is their second run, similar to AWOC doing their second Kickstarter. 9 to 5 has already produced things, definitely has that throwback to some nostalgia, the Food Fighters from the 80s or 90s back then. But they partnered with Big Bad for a couple things, for pre-orders on a few of them, and then they will be shipping. The shipping address will be collected closer to 2025 to ensure they're up to date, and they'll go ahead and give pledges be managed through the backer kits. Or Kickstarter's new tool, which I guess Kickstarter has some sort of new tool potentially. I'm not 100% sure on that. I haven't toyed with Kickstarter too much myself, but Brandon from 9 to 5 Warriors was expressing his deep gratitude to everyone for the support and making this wave possible. So second wave from these guys, feel more comfortable with it. So if you haven't, you have a chance to get the backer kit, you missed out, might be something you want to jump in on. And I think it's a cool line. Definitely something I could see sitting on the desk and just kind of having that talking point at the office, like, what the heck is that? That type of stuff. So the next one is military line, which is a cool line, fits right in from what I can tell. Ed saw these guys down at Joe Fest, had quite a bit of conversations with the guy that's behind this Patriot Force. I don't know, Brick, if you know much about Patriot Force, but it's a fairly new line. They haven't released anything other than the kind of previews and prototype images and stuff. Yeah. They're eventually going to have some sort of funding, I'm assuming, some sort of Kickstarter. But its idea is behind actual military members or former military members that have served in some capacity within the U.S. military. And they partnered with a number of folks. They actually recently promoted some images. I wanted to talk about these last week. I forgot to get them. You can see here the gentleman in the center, and then the one up to the top left hand are the same, and then one on the right is another one that was released or announced more recently. The one on the right, they say, if you know, you know. So it's some sort of stretch goal. I don't know who that person is. I have a strong inclination of who the center is, and up to the left, I have some ideas on it. I think I'm like 99.999% accurate on it. I won't say it because I feel like I might be letting a cat out of the bag, and that's not my place. But wonder if the chat has any guesses on that. But I think it's a pretty cool figure. Definitely one I would pick up for sure if it is who I think it is. So. You're not a military guy when it comes to the collections, right, Brick? This is kind of something you're not really
not
into.
in terms of collecting. I know about these through you guys, really. But and these have popped up on my feed too. So I'd love to check out toys. I'm always curious to see how people are gonna pull off, all the engineering and everything. And since they're going like this is hyper realism, like they're really like modeling this stuff. I'm super intrigued to kind of see how they pull that off, especially with all the accessories and stuff. We're seeing really cool stuff between, of course, Joe Classified, there's Valaverse, and then now Monster Force, especially with Monster Force has a lot of that modularity and switchable accessories. I'm really intrigued by that kind of stuff, and it looks like this line might too, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I'm watching it for sure.
Good deal. Yeah. Like I said, I'm 99% sure I know who these guys are. So I'm very excited to see if that, if that was if I'm right about that. So
help me out with that real quick. So you're saying they blocked out the faces because you think they are revealing like pretty famous.
I think that folks will know who these two people are. I think the reason they block these out is with the intention that they're stretch goals. So they've shown and given the details behind those that they already announced as part of the core Kickstarter goals. Then there was like a lull right after Joe Fest that kind of slowed down what we were seeing from these guys. I think part of it probably, and this is again, I have no intel from the inside. I just assume kind of timing wise, I think probably had to do with them being on site at Joe Fest, maybe getting some connections with people. It also kind of correlated with the same thing with the Invincible Toys and Invincible Toys kind of coming off and backing out of their association with Fist. And so I think there was some change up in potentially how this was going to move forward, because I think I had heard rumblings that this might tie in with Invincible Toys to produce, but I think maybe they shifted away from that. I don't know for sure. But that was what I kind of had heard through the rumblings. And then I think what they decided is to take a step back and position themselves for a bigger, more, hashed out Kickstarter, right? I think sometimes I'm one that did it, rush into it, not necessarily have everything ready the way you want it. And then, in some cases like these guys, I think they took a step back and said, let's reevaluate how we want to do some of this stuff, add things like this, these faceless characters that they will announce later to build up the hype and anticipation. So I think that's the reason they, blacked these out. And they even in the, post on Instagram when they announced these, like I said, the guy on the right here, it says, if you know, right? Like they had the IY and, and then for the other gentleman here on the left, they had some comments on there and stuff that didn't exactly say who it was, but, let hey, more to come as a reveal later on. So I do anticipate that these are some sort of public figures or someone. I think the guy on the right, honestly, my assumption is the guy on the right where I only have one image. I think it might possibly be the character from the movie that Mark Wahlberg was in, The Lone Survivor. His name was Mark Cotell, I think. Who served in the I want to say the Navy, if I remember correctly from the movie and the book. I saw him as a presenter at an event for my company a few years back. So if that's who it is, I would definitely pick that up just as a hold it and have it type of situation. But be interested to see. So we'll see what these guys come out and what they announce.
Cool. Remind me the name of the company.
For Patriot Toys or Patriot Force. Sorry,
Patriot.
It's
Patriot Toys.
It's Patriot Force is what I've been calling it, and what I think it has on their Instagram. I don't know if they have a separate branding for their overall company or not yet. I don't know that for sure. I know if you look on Instagram, you could find Patriot Force.
Okay, cool.
So then the next piece of news is Valaverse. And this will wrap up our news, but I got a few items here that I want to cover. One, For those that haven't heard, they're going to be at Legion's Con. But before they go to Legion's Con, they're going to be in Rhode Island Comic Con. And they actually have this Legends of the White Dragon a translucent figure. And they have it's a limited run with a gold chrome reproduction of JDF's signature. So that's obviously he's passed away at this point, but that's the Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers, if you don't follow this line or this movie that's coming out, but they've used his reproduction signature for it, and they have this translucent figure, which I thought was cool. I'm not a translucent guy, but I can see others being big fans of it, and part of me kind of wants it just because it's got the signature on it. But they'll have that, and then they'll be doing this on site for the Rhode Island Comic Con for $30 at their booth, and then they. Anything that they don't have, for post-show availability, they'll have, it may be offered online potentially. They didn't decide. I mean, oftentimes Valaverse has been very accommodating in that sense. So hopefully we see this go online for those that can't attend Rhode Island Comic Con that do want to get a hold of it. Another Rhode Island exclusive, or I guess the first time that it's going to be seen, is the Action Force coloring book, which they just announced, which I thought was cool. And this is artwork created by someone I talked to, a friend of mine. I consider him a friend, Quentin J. Bedwell, who's done the Action Force or Farce comic series. He's working with Kato over on the Kane comic that he's working on with him. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. So it's all the artwork done by him from what I could tell. And this will be available at the Rhode Island Comic Con. So for those that like coloring books and want to get an Action Force coloring book, you should be able to pick that up there. And that's all the good. There is some bad, depending on how you look at it, that they recently announced. But I think they're handling it in an appropriate way, which I think, Brick, from your perspective, this will be interesting as you're, working with Spiro and, getting involved in that space of the toy lines and stuff. Recently, they have Series 5 that they've been shipping. They're going to be shipping out a newly set of tooled improved hips. So if you look in the before and after photos there, you can see the before almost has like a melted, not quite detailed in the way they anticipated it for the crotch piece. So they call it hip piece, but I'm calling it crotch piece because that's what it is. But you have on the right, you can see the more detailed, sculpt with, you can see the almost like the fabric details to it. They will be painting them and updating them. But the U.S. pre-orders, customers, they should email Valaverse with the order number after receiving the figure. Because the pre-orders, they're going to be shipped without that. They couldn't time it, directly on, but they'll be shipped out the new hip at no additional charge. International orders will include the new hips automatically. And then future stock and retail partner orders will come with the updated hips included. So it's just the pre-order that Valaverse had themselves had these ones they weren't completely satisfied with. So
is it the same? It's not an issue of size because it's hard to tell here if the one on the right is slightly wider. It's more just the level of detail on the fabric texture.
It's kind of like right here from the way I was reading.
I see that.
It's kind of like almost like a melted. It looks almost melted to me, where it doesn't have that same detail. The size is not changing from what I understand. It didn't hint towards that in the post. It just talked about the I got Ed. Yes, Ed, I see your message, brother. I got you.
So on that, are these figures easy enough to kind of disassemble and
I've done some pop and swap stuff with the Valaverse myself already. A little bit of like the blow dryer on it or hot water, and you can pop a thigh off or the waist off, and it's relatively easy. I never broke any of those, so fairly decent with that. So I wouldn't be overly concerned. The next one I'm a little bit more concerned with because I've never messed with it myself, but there was another item from Wave 5, and that's why I said we've got the good, which is those two things they announced, and we got kind of the bad. But at least as a producer of the toys, I feel like they're doing right by the consumer. But you can see in this image right here, this is how it's shipped in some cases. I guess it's a small amount. There's a small amount of figures that some of them Series 5, the Colonel Siege figure, this right here is actually painted blue like the rest of his shirt, where it's actually supposed to be that tan beige color to match the jacket. So it looks seamless and like it's one piece there. Again, They're a limited number. It sounds like it was just some of them were affected with this. With the blue butterfly joint instead of that, they will have replacement torsos available, but they will arrive with the second Series 5 shipment. And if you do receive one of these, you're more than welcome to reach out to them for the replacement figure, and they'll go ahead and get you taken care of. Again, it only affects the pre-orders. It will not affect the retail partners or future restocks because they will have the correct joints. So again, coming out ahead of time, making everyone aware of knowing the process to take care of it and get it taken care of. I almost am like, if this is a very small amount, is this like a limited run? Like, do you want to get your hands on this to have the factory defect version, right? Just to get your hands on it, because it's only so many. Of course, me, I'm like, ooh, I got to get that one or two here and there. So we'll see. But I pre-ordered this from one of the retail partners, so I won't be getting one of the errorless ones. But
did they clarify? Did they clarify if so the parts that are going to be coming with the retail ones, are they just sort of going to be in box, or are they going to be assembled that way properly? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it didn't speak to it it didn't speak to exactly the situation, whether it's going to be like a taped on the back of the package replacement piece, or whether it's going to be completely fine. But I mean, it says the issues only affect Valaverse.com pre-orders, retail partner purchases, and future restocks will have the correct tan joints. So my assumption here is that, it should be fine. And that the pre-order ones, if they receive one of these, they'll have to get the part separate. So it sounds like it's replace it as needed situation. So it probably isn't going to be in box. And I assume that if you look on the right image where it's got the checkbox, you're basically getting that entire upper torso.
Sure.
You won't probably get your hands. You're not getting the jacket. You're just going to get the chest and butterfly. So you're not trying to swap it in and out.
Oh, you know what? It didn't register to me. Got it. So the colors of the sleeve. So that's supposed to be a vest he's wearing. Is that right?
He's wearing a coat. It's supposed to be a jacket. So his arms are matching the fact of the jacket, but you can see the blue pierce through right here. I don't know if you can see where I'm highlighting.
No, I can see that. No, I can totally see that. But what's weird to me is if you look at the picture on the bottom, is that's a greener sleeve. So that's what threw me off a little bit. But I think I get it. So that top coat overlay is supposed to be matching the sleeve color.
Exactly.
Too, okay.
Yep.
But it's the same color. It's just maybe the picture on the bottom is a little bit cooler. Is that
right? I think it's just the lighting. One's probably an in-hand that they had, and he caught that when he received it.
Yeah, as far as because you started this saying like, hey, as you're working with like folks like Spiro, I think. Yeah, it sounds like they're handling it just fine. I say two things. One, if like customers, when this happens, I think in general in this age, people blow it way out of proportion. Like I get it. You're disappointed and you're frustrated, but they're gonna make it right. So, and then the other end of it is like the weird praise people get. They're like, oh my God, look at this company. They're so fantastic for making this right. And it's like, no, that's just what every company should do. And generally they do, generally speaking. I know, and there might be some cases where they don't, but it's like, I mean, it would be really silly if they didn't. So, so I don't know. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, that sucks. I'm sure it'll get taken care of. Same thing happened with like Giant Man recently. Like a bunch of the eyes were like they got two of one set of eyes so that they're giving the side eye. But it's like there's a set of folks who are like, oh my God, freaking Hasbro. It's like, I mean, you're gonna tell them they're gonna get you a new thing. Life will move on. Stuff happens, right?
Oh, okay.
And so it's not like they didn't plan to like screw everyone over eyes. So that's my take. And I know that's maybe wildly level-headed, or some people would say overly positive, but it's just like things are going to happen, right? Especially for these newer companies. Like they don't necessarily have boots on the ground over there. They're relying on a production manager who does this for a bunch of different lines, and they're not necessarily in the factory every day. So things are bound to happen. And yes, I think companies have a choice sort of to address it or not, but I think 9 times out of 10 they're gonna. And so I don't know, that's how I see it. I don't
Yeah,
Like, oh no, that's a bummer. And I'm not going to also go like, oh my God, they're the best company ever. It's like,
yeah, and I don't think that. Yeah, I think you're right. There's an extremist situation on both sides of the coin here.
Yeah,
I try to land somewhere in the middle on it. I do think that I lean probably a little bit more one way than the other. Not to the not. I wouldn't say extreme, but I would say that I feel like from an independent toy line, we see a lot more proactivity in this, where we might not see it in the bigger box places. But that's because
100%.
they're sitting at the top of a 50,000-foot story building, where we're our independent toy guys are just getting off the ground. They have to focus on these little things. But it's good to see them continuing to do that.
And as well as I do from the rest of the world, that's just a straight up money thing, right? And so that's how like insurance companies, like they hire people to sit there and do the calculations to figure out, is it going to be more expensive to remedy the situation or just deal with the flack?
Yep.
And so you can't do that as an independent toy company. You're just like,
100%.
no, this is going to screw me over. So they're going to address it every time. The bigger companies, like, but yeah, similar thing happened with some of these. I'm hearing like some people got two arms or two of the left side, like two left hands. And at the end of the day, just call Mattel. They'll replace it for you. 9 times out of 10, they're going to send you an extra one. Now you've got 2 figures, one with 2, or give you your money back.
Yeah, I think my experience is I've never really dealt with that with those bigger box places. I've never really given them a chance to go right on it, because I just don't think to. Like, I don't feel like they have as easy of an access to them, so I don't often catch that. But with these guys are in the community to some degree. Jason, he's on these shows. Bobby, he's on the shows. You got the Four Horsemen, Jeremy, and those guys. They're on shows. Rob Post on the shows. You see those guys all over, so they feel more accessible. So you can go ahead and see them doing it. So it's just good to see these guys continuing to do right. But yeah, I just part of the news for Vala, 2 good things, and then 2 things that I'm sure is going to be a disappointment to some. But again, it's not life or death. You will go on. If you get one that's in box and you're an inbox collector and it doesn't, it might be a bummer for you, figure it out. It'd be unfortunate, but I'm sure you can find somebody like myself who would, these limited, these limited run issues might be like, that'd be kind of cool to have in the collection. It was a flaw, but I'll grab that. So yeah, that's the news for this week. I appreciate you going through that with me, Brick. And, especially for championing the AWOC stuff there for sure. The next piece, try not to be too long with it. I know we're coming up on about an hour and a half or so, but I do want to talk ToyVember. We did a little bit of this talk earlier on. We changed the whole idea of how we're going to deliver the materials. So we'll go ahead and we'll talk through a few of these slides here. ToyVember, we spoke to it. It's this concept of bringing the brotherhood, sisterhood, the community together to take photos. Go ahead and spend some time with your figures. Bring your kid outside if you have one, or all of them. Do it however you want. But the idea here is it's a month-long action figure photography challenge. The idea is to connect, improve, and win prizes. Connect within the community. If we're all sharing the same hashtags, #ToyVember, #ToyLeet on Instagram, do it each day. You have a chance to earn points. The idea here is that just again, engaging everyone, making new connections, learning how to do something differently. Hey, if I post something and you like it, comment on it. Ask me questions. I'll tell you what I used. I'll tell you what I did for my setup. I know there's a ton of other people out there like Emerald Knight Studios who every photo he posts always puts his general photo with what he did and then his details on what he used to get that image. So like the community is very open. I haven't met a single gatekeeper in the action figure photography community. They're all about helping one another, so give it a shot, take part, and have a chance to win prizes while challenging yourself to do a little something outside of the box. Specifically, registration. You don't have to register, but you get bonus points for doing so. Go out to the link in this stream. Click on that register. It'll be open until midnight on Halloween, the 31st, Eastern Standard Time, or when I decide to turn it off. If I don't do it till the morning, maybe you get a little extra. The idea here is, though, pre-register will get you extra points. That's to allow me to tell the potential sponsors how many people we have partaking to hopefully get some additional prizes. I've already alluded to some of the prizes. We've got a $25 Hella Dope Toys gift card. We've got number of Cosmic Legions. And what I mean a number, more than 3 brand new inbox Cosmic Legions from the most recent wave. One of them sitting right here. We also have Once a Man, the Hasbro G.I. Joe, which I just received, is sitting on the floor here in the box. So Once a Man will be available. Again, we're going to break up based on how many people participate. We're going to go ahead and break those up into separate prize groups. So depending on how many people take part is how many prizes we pay out. And what I mean by that is, if I've got 10 items that are prizes, we might give 4 or 5 to first place, 2 or 3 to second, and then something to third. But again, the larger amount of participation, the more I can elicit from other donations and items to take part in it. So pre-register, get in now. It's very simple. Post every day. Hashtag ToyVember, ToyLeet. Follow us on Instagram. Join us in on the streams every week because we'll be picking out some photos from those that are posting each week, and we'll be talking about those on the show here, and just highlighting some of the things we think are cool, and trying to champion some things, maybe pull out things, maybe even ask those people questions in the chat. But we won't tell everyone what the points are until we get closer to the end, and we'll be announcing the winners on the first stream in December. Again, all you got to do is a few things, and thanks to some great feedback from Brick here, we've decided to announce all of the daily prompts earlier in the show. I might show them in a moment before we wrap up. But again, we'll post those publicly for everyone ahead of time. So like Brick suggested, if you're setting up, you can kind of do, and plan out how you want to attack your photography. Don't need to use, Conan figures or Savage Crucible or Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, even if that's what was it? Fables there. Can't think of his name right off the top of my head. Sorry. Endless Fables. Thank you. Even if Endless Fables suggested you should use AWOC, you don't have to. And some days you can use AWOC. Some days you can use Mattel or Hasbro or Simpsons or Legos or Barbies or Plunderlings, whatever you want. Have fun with it. Challenge yourself. Just have fun. And see if you can win something. It'll be fun. I'm really excited. I want to see what people put together. I want to see how many people try to tell a story over the course of 30 days, or how many people try to tell a story over 10 or 5, or because these prompts are done in a way to allow you to have a continuality between everything, but also so that you can do it independently each day if you choose to do so. So I think that's kind of cool.
Couple things. So in the private chat, I dropped that link, the shorter sort of version, if you want to share that with folks. And Ed is asking, how many registrations are there right now?
Give me a second. Of course, he wants to call me out on that. Looks like we got just over 15 right now.
Okay.
So those are people that have pre-registered. My expectation is probably won't get as many pre-registers as I'd like this year. It's year one. Our span of influence is only so far right now, but I anticipate with all of the great photographers out there after day one posting and tagging these things, you're going to see people inundate with starting to post prompts, and we're going to be forced to keep track of even more participants from those days forward. So look at it like this: if you've already jumped in, you've already got a head start. And is Ed joining in on the chat? Is that what I see here? That guy wants to come in. I see Ed in the chat, I think.
In the private chat? No, that's me.
No.
So I was just...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, separately?
Yeah, I thought I saw him coming in the green room. He's probably trying to give me a hard time because he wants me to play that Hello Dope commercial, which I will play here shortly. Yeah, so this is the approach here.
Do you want to share that link though? It'll be just drop it in the chat. Go to your private chat and copy and paste. There you go. So yeah, just that's the pre-registration form. Cool. So let's send it to your friends, tell folks. Let's just have some fun in November and take pictures of our toys. Check it out. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's a if you're in the continental U.S., we will ship it out, no fee. I will take care of mailing it out. Some of the donations we already have, which I'll be announcing over the course of the couple days from others, are really cool donations. Like there's some additional 4 Horsemen Figma Obscura figures, and then there's additionally some Frazetta Girls figures and some Marvel figures, I think, that have been donated. They'll be shipping those out to the winners too. So really cool opportunity. And maybe you don't even need the stuff. Maybe you donate it to Toys for Tots just before the holidays. So, whatever you got to do with it is, have fun with it.
Sorry, I just laughed thinking of a kid getting Tigra in the Toys for Tots. But yeah.
Oh, I got a story to tell you after this then. When we go offline about one of the things I got as a kid, and my uncle explained it to me what it was when I was like 11 or 12 years old. So interesting
man.
story.
Okay,
for sure.
cool.
Yep. It'll be one of those bleeper sessions. But yeah, so try to make it exciting, have fun with it, champion it, and really let's make this an annual event. I really think it's something that can bring the community together to have fun. I mean, we see all these collaborations of photographers and stuff doing it. Think of it in that manner, an opportunity to continue to build your portfolio and have fun and try something different. I know that's what you're going to do, right, Brick? Is kind of explore something you haven't really been able to toy with as much.
Yeah,
toy
100%. No, 100%. I've just been watching folks do it, and I even as just maybe some. I just said just go and have some fun with the toys. So I'm really inspired by it, and it felt like you guys kind of set up this thing in a way that's like encouraging people just go out and have fun. I know Ed talks a lot about how he just takes his toys out to his sort of yard. It's massive outdoor world, and it's really encouraging. It's like, hey, yeah, man, I can do this too. Because, sometimes it can get intimidating. There's some beautiful stuff out there. So, but, I'm going to try it out.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that inspires me to the photography is what we see there. And then I always forget the gentleman's name, but he does a lot of the Four Horsemen stuff. I got a calendar up here above my head. Trevor. Thank you.
Trevor Williams. Yeah, 1/6 shooter.
Yeah, 1/6 shooter. That's what it is. So I have his calendar, and he has awesome photos, and
100%.
It's just amazing. And I'm sure he doesn't do that with his iPhone or his Android, but I see stuff folks do with those devices, and they do a really good job. So you don't need to have some special equipment. You don't need special lighting. You don't need dioramas. You literally can do what Ed does in a lot of cases, or what he's taught me to do. Go out into the woods, go into your yard, go into a playground, find something. All you need is go to the beach.
Yep.
Exactly. So have fun with it. Do it. Challenge yourself. The prompts should be easy enough and vague enough that you can do it with a number of different any toy line, and really challenge yourself. I look forward to seeing what folks do with that. So go ahead, pre-register, get the extra bonus points. It's well worth it. That way, in December, you got a better shot of winning, and not coming in too late.
So do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I'm gonna ask you. Sorry, but I'm relatively I'm a noob when it comes to the photo thing. Literally, they just post on Instagram. That's the main place, and then they just hit in the tag, and that's all they need to do.
Yeah, all you got to do right now is you gotta follow ToyLeet on Instagram. So as long as you're following ToyLeet on Instagram, I'm not asking you to even share, right? Like, you don't even have to share our post. That's not even a requirement. It'd be great because you draw in more people, more prizes. We're going to give away more. But the idea here is all you got to do is follow the prompt each day. And as long as you make that prompt within that day, you get a point for that. You get 1 point every day. So you're going to, if you don't pre-register, well, if you pre-register, you're getting 5 points to start. So you get a 5-point head start right off the rip. And then for each day you post, you get 1 point. So if you pre-register and post for all 30 days, you got 35 points. That said, there are judges like myself, Ed, and there are others that have yet to be named, that will be named, that are given a bucket of points. We all have a certain bucket of points that we're able to distribute. There's a maximum I can distribute per day, per, per photo. So I can't just throw, let's say I have 100 points. I can't just throw 100 points all in one day on the first photo. I have a certain amount that I can do per photo per day, but I do have a limit. So if I use up all those points over the first 10 days, I don't have extra points to give over the last 20. So the idea is that we will hand out points where we want to give a couple extra points to, based on, maybe they used my favorite figure line. Maybe they used outdoor. Like, everyone has their own preferences. Could be really cool. Could be on day one, you were taking pictures of a donkey and it looked like crap. And on day 10, you did a really cool photo like the one I have in front of me. Very simple. Not like crazy special lighting. This is your photo, right, Brick? It's no crazy special lighting. I don't know if you used a special camera or if you used a phone. Phone, no special background, but that picture looks awesome. It looks heroic. Looks like the introduction to a hero's story or journey. I
Right
think
on,
it
man.
looks cool. It highlights the weapons, it highlights his armor, and I just think it looks really cool. I fished through your Instagram to find that. You
Mhm.
cannot use this one for day one. I will know that you use this for day one if
Yeah,
you
I
do.
mean, literally, you had to go way back. I think that was like one of the
Yeah.
first things ever when I was just posting a bunch of random shots
Yep. It was
of
way
so
back.
I want to get back to it, and I appreciate you just sort of like, hey, yeah, it can be super simple because I feel like I can do it, and I feel like I love these things. I love my toys. That's why I took that one. I was like, man, this thing looks cool. Like
Yeah.
snap. So that's where they're at, folks. You don't have to be a seasoned toy photographer or seasoned photographer. Admire your toys, enjoy your toys, and share it with everybody, and get some points and potentially get some prizes. But at the end of the day, we're all going to be like posting just fun stuff, like
Yeah.
our toys. That's what's
Have
up.
have fun with it. Tell a story.
Yeah.
Try to follow the
Sure.
prompts in a story. If you're a storyteller and not just like the photographer, apply it in that approach. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be curious
Yeah.
to see what people do if they were using multiple toy lines and things. Because I'm very like I could never use my GI Joes with my Savage Crucible. It just wouldn't work in my world. I couldn't use my pro wrestlers with my Savage Crucible. Maybe I could. I couldn't most likely use most of them for that. So like
Mhm.
it's cool to me to see what people do with that. But for me, like if I was gonna do Savage, it would be a Savage world. If I was gonna do wrestling, it'd be wrestling. I'm curious to see what someone like Ed or someone like you,
Sure.
Brick, may do and explore with such a wide range of toys and action figures. So have fun with it. Try to win prizes. But most of all, just make some friends, have fun.
Yeah.
Like we're a niche of a niche of a niche of people who hang out in the same forums and the same chats and on the same hashtags on Instagram. Let's have fun with it, and let's
man.
make November ToyVember. Let's have fun.
Love it.
So Brick, you're getting into it. Just a couple questions, some tips, right? This photo here was yours.
Yeah.
I know I already alluded to this. It's fairly basic in the sense of what you put into it as far as equipment.
Yeah.
What'd you use? What would I need to do this myself?
I mean, literally, this is like an earliest setup for even the channel, I want to say. And I had a table. I think I had like a piece of butcher paper to kind of like create like a seamless, so if folks aren't familiar, you take a piece of paper and you're kind of like bending it this way and you're shooting it this way. So you don't see the seam, right? And I just kind of got a little bit up on it because I think these things are super interesting, like from all sorts of angles. And also like, if you want like a sense of how I took this, like if you look at my set of files for that day when it like, there's like a million photos, right, of just like different angles. And I was like, oh, and I combed through and I was like, that's the one right there. So that's what I do too. Like, I'm sure people are just like, no, I know exactly how this is going to be great. Take the one. And they're like, perfect. For me,
Yep.
I'm just like taking stuff and I'm looking through and I'm like, okay, that's dope. There's some cropping going on as you pointed out. Like I did want to highlight the weapons. I think there's a tighter crop on that, but like, just playing with angles. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is
having
cropped a
fun.
little bit to fit into my template
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So it's not showing
Yeah.
it completely as you had it raw on Instagram. But yeah, you
Yeah.
had it focused in, to try to frame it up.
Yeah.
But again, for those that don't have that experience, challenge yourself. Try to frame it up. Does it look good to you? If it looks good to you, post it. I don't care. We're going to give out points for trying and doing and challenging yourself. And
Mhm.
like I said, if I see someone who takes something where there's really bad lighting and shadows, and then they see people
Mhm.
commenting and you see people giving advice and you see, folks, on day 10 or 20 taking it with a slightly different lighting or maybe a slightly different angle, and you see that improvement, it's going to be noticed over 30 days. So all I ask is that you challenge yourself to get a little bit better each day. And if you're getting a
And
little bit
so-
better each day, that's awesome.
100%. Two things. That camera, if I remember, that's really old. So that was like my really old phone. I think it was like an 8 or something like that, an iPhone
Okay.
8, like super old. And then so I had these on our shelves when we bought this place. They had these, and I was like, okay. And I looked on Amazon. I was like, oh, these are cool. And they're literally just meant to be there's like those lights that you like walk into a room and it turns on.
Yep.
And it's so this is what I was using. This is what I was using for my my reviews and stuff. I just
That's
grabbed
awesome.
them and I would just put them on there. And then there's like a cool and a hot too. And there's like, so I don't know. This was all I had. And
That's
you could
great.
probably do the same thing with flashlight, maybe. Obviously that's going to be more of like a circle. So basically, this is like,
Well, so
here's
many
the-
people have like these and stuff that they've
Right,
messed around with and
right.
stuff. So, I mean, I have a bunch because hey, we all had COVID years, right? So there's a lot of people working from home or kids
Yep.
going to school from home. So some people pick
Yep.
these up and now they're just sitting
Yep.
in a box. Those are perfect for lighting. You can
Yeah.
use those.
And then like my thing too is just like playing with lights. Like I feel like he's a great head sculpt, right? But then I'm like, okay, but if I sort of like highlight him from this side, oops, let me focus. But just like you can get all sorts of, it brings out a lot of the check it, just I guess focus on the face, and you can kind of see how the lighting angle kind of creates interesting shadows and stuff. Anyway, that's it. I'm like literally going around here and taking pictures, snap, and
that's the cool part about this, right? So often everyone is posting pictures throughout the year for their action figure photography, and oftentimes it's the same stuff because it's the new figures they just got that they're trying to show off in these poses and stuff. So like doing this 30-day challenge, I'm telling you to go in your drawer, pull out some stuff you might not have used in a while, just take some new photos, and that was new photos. I may have said that fast, so I want to make sure we're clear, Thanos. I said new photos. But have fun with it, challenge yourself, and use your phone. If you got a better camera, I've heard stories from Emerald Knight, started using his wife's camera. I think my wife's got a camera down the hall. I might even bust that camera out. I don't know that I have like the zoom in lens or whatnot, but I might try to progress with my photos and stuff. But again, I think you pointed it out, Brick, right? You kind of, I don't want to say burst photoed, right? You didn't like necessarily click it 1,000 times in the same angle, but you were snagging it from different angles to try to see what stood out the best to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then cropping is your friend. Like you do what you can, and then you can always sort of like, oh, I want to focus on this, or it's just different now. Like we're in a digital world, and so when I was taking photos back in the day, like I took a photo class and had to like agitate film canisters and sit in a dark room.
Oh
and
man,
like,
my wife used to love that in high school.
Yeah, dude, it was precious. It was like, oh my god, how much is this roll of film? How much? Like, oh, I could totally mess it up. Now it's like snap. And it's just like, oh yeah, that's great. Throw this one out, crop it. So that's how I go.
Absolutely awesome. Cool, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you for giving insight into that. Again, we've had Emerald Knight, someone who's been really hammering away the last few years. And a couple weeks ago when we first announced this, want to bring somebody on, more in my wheelhouse, maybe a little bit, more experienced than me, because I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to this photography stuff. But I'm sure as heck gonna try. So it's great to hear someone who's been teased or got that itch to try to get in a little bit more, who isn't necessarily using like the really high-end stuff that like some of the folks like Emerald Knight or Realm of Toys is using, because again, this is open to anyone to really dive in and play around with it. So please have at it and challenge. But thank you, Brick, for joining. Before I go to the next slide, I am going to throw this up because Ed has been messaging me, so I got a little commercial. I didn't make anybody listen to the 30-minute songs that I make every week, so I am going to play this real quick, and then we'll go into our closing here.
Christmas shopping can be hard, but with Hello Dope Toys, it doesn't have to be. This Christmas, give the collector in your life a gift they will never forget. Helidope is guaranteed to bring the magic to your family's Christmas. They have many franchises, including Action Force, Marvel Legends, and G.I. Joe, and many more. Helidope Toys. Give Santa a break.
Awesome. That's the Helidope commercial. Good deal. Good deal. Awesome. So then again, Brick, I want to thank you for coming on. I'm gonna show folks the plan for next week. We wanted to do this a while back. Schedules got junked up a little bit, but next week, Ed and I are gonna talk cool school lunchboxes, a journey through the toy and pop culture designs for lunchboxes, going back to when they were those steel things that you could attack somebody with and a thermostat, all the way up to some of the plastic ones in the 90s with some Ninja Turtles and Power Ranger stuff on it, to what they are today, which is more like a collectible and less of an actual lunchbox that folks are often using. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. We'll also be talking about and bringing on some of the photos from those that are posted over the first couple days of ToyVember. So again, pre-register for that. And then join us next week where we'll show off some of the cool stuff that folks are posting. We'll talk a little bit about the school lunch boxes and then our normal segments. Hopefully, Brick, you'll be able to join us in the chat and, really appreciate you subbing in this week for us. While Ed's out there, taking care of family and doing things for family. But before we go, is there anything you want to plug this week you got coming up?
So just my Sundays. So every Sunday, I do a thing called the Brick Something News. It's not really news. Like we went through some news stuff today, up to date info. Some of it's that, but it's actually an acronym that stands for Needless Ephemera We Saw, meaning like just whatever, dude, whatever you want to geek out about. Right now, the last couple of weeks, I've been talking about Legions Con because I'm going to be heading out there next Wednesday and be there for the weekend. But so as I'm rounding down, this is the last Sunday before that. I decided to bring on a couple of folks who are also going to be going to Legions Con for the first time. So it's going to be, Oz, Ostradamus Toys. You mentioned John Mejia of Emerald Night Photography. Who else is coming on? I'm totally blanking. Why am I blanking? Mega J Retro is actually going to join us as well. And who else is coming? Oh my God, I'm so sorry, whoever it is. But what am I talking about? Joe Gonzalez, like Mr. Legions,
Mr. Legions
himself. Like we're both going as big fans, going for the first time. So it's going to be awesome. All of us, we're going to be heading there, and it's also going to be cool because it's going to be the first time I get to see these folks that I've been hanging out with online in person. So that's gonna be cool. I'm just gonna pick their brains about like what they're most excited about at the show, and then before that. So I mentioned this earlier. On Highly Articulated's channel, we do a thing called AWOC Talk Live Monkey Business. This is that month. We do it once a month. This is that Sunday. I'm sort of unsure if I'm going to be making it in time to be on that or not, but that's going to be at 2:00. So his show's at 2:05, mine's at 3:45 Pacific time. So you can go to the channel, bricksomething.com should take you straight to the channel. And and just hang out on the Instagram if you want to see whatever I end up doing for ToyVember.
ToyVember, man. Don't mess it up. It's right there. It's right above you.
I know.
No, awesome.
I know.
Good deal, man. And I got to figure out Legions Con. I'm still on the fence, trying to convince the wife to take a trip down there for me to go look at toys and stuff. And honestly, completely being honest, it's just to meet folks like you and Adam.
Yeah, you should come out.
See Mega J again and Oz. Just trying to convince the wife to make the trip down there. So we'll see how it goes over the course of begging and pleading the next couple of days to see if we can work it out. But yeah, that'll be awesome. As far as ToyLeet, Ed's out of town right now. I know he's making his way back this way the next couple of days. He normally pops into streams like A Punk with Toys, and he moderates the show with Radnom or Random Diorama on Friday nights, and then Sunday nights he's with the Hello Dope Toys. I think they're off this week with a scheduled off day this Sunday, so they won't be around. And then we'll be back here with the ToyLeet on Tuesday next week. Again, speaking a little bit about the school lunch boxes and the history of those, and then diving into the ToyVember stuff. So pay attention. We'll be getting that stuff out there. I'll get a post out there tomorrow with what you've already seen, which give me 1 second. So in closing, I'm going to, if I can get back to the screen. There we go. And how do I add this? Here we go. There's 3 days of ToyVember, the prompts for each day, the arrival, all the way to the legacy left behind, or reflection, as they say. So have fun with ToyVember. We'll announce this. We'll publish it on the Instagram. We'll have it in the community tab here on the ToyLeet Takeover streams. So we look forward to seeing what you guys put together. But until next time, as I like to say, stay wonderful.
Let your toys breathe, still bliss. Toys on the desk, it's the new